Hey guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week I'm going to talk about a kind of a unique concept that's really taking the US by storm, and that's joint ownership of a vehicle. Now that sounds kind of strange on the surface. Why would I want to own a fractional piece of a car? But where we've seen this work, and I say we generically, not me personally, but where it has worked, and I've read about it and seen it online, is primarily supercars, and it's primarily in major metropolitan areas. So let's pick on New York City or Los Angeles. Maybe those will be our two examples. But let's say I live in LA. I really want to own a Lamborghini, but I really can't afford the payment on a $250,000 or $300,000 car. Maybe I have 2 or 3 or 4 friends that also would love to own a Lamborghini, but it doesn't make sense for us all to own them. We can all go in together and buy one. So a $300,000 car split 5 ways or 6 ways or whatever it is, worked out to be $50,000 or $60,000 per person, which is what a new car would cost you otherwise. And then maybe what you do is you each get it for 5 or 6 days of the month. So again, sounds super crazy. And it works out to, like $100 a day. If your payment's $3,000 and you divide that by 30 days, it's $100 a day. And, so the long and short of it is it's a very interesting approach to supercar ownership. And I mean, when it's all said and done, so at first I'm like, this is the dumbest idea ever. I thought it's foolish. Like, why would you want to own a fractional piece? But then I started thinking about my R8. And, this isn't something I would fractionally own, right? But in theory, I don't drive that thing all that often. I only drive it, 6 or 7 times a month. So in theory, right, if I had a 1/5 ownership of the car, 30 days in a month divided by 5 gives me 6 days with the car. There's my 6 days. And so I can actually see it kind of working. And it's just a fascinating idea because now all of a sudden, instead of a $3,000 car payment, maybe it's $500, $600. And you can drive the crap out of a car. If you're doing it with a new car, you've got something that generally has a warranty. Maybe even maintenance is provided to you. Like if you go buy a brand new Ferrari today, they'll do oil changes on that car at no cost. It's built into the price. So you may not even have maintenance on top. You have to work pretty closely with your insurance agent. I think that's where maybe it gets a little bit tricky. But from the idea of who owns the car on paper, I think, again, I've not done this, I think you can have multiple owners. What that does is when you go to that Ferrari or that Lamborghini or whatever dealership, they basically run everybody's credit. And I think how that would work is they sort of take the running average. They may base the loan on the person with the highest credit, but in order to keep everybody's name on it, you really have to have, for true joint ownership, right? Everybody has to have a little skin in the game. So my guess is the down payment gets split by 4 or 5 people. The monthly payment obviously gets split by 4 or 5 people. And maybe the way it works is you open some sort of like joint bank account or multiple ownered bank account, and everybody funnels money into it. And then that pays the car payment. I'm not exactly sure the logistics. Like I said, I've not done one. I don't know that I would, but I do see the value and I do see how it works because again, I only drive this thing, 1 week out of the month. If you collect all the days, I drive it sporadically, but if you collect all the days, I could own this thing 1 week a month and drive it just as much as I am now. So again, you want to buy that Porsche GT3 RS that's, $400,000. Okay, you find 3 other guys to each go in with you. You either each come up with $100,000 and then you each get it for 1 week, or you finance it. And again, you pay 1/4 of the down, you pay 1/4 of the monthly payment, and then you get your own insurance. And again, your insurance guy hopefully can work it out so that you're not paying a full month's ownership, or, however that works. If you're only driving it a quarter of the time, hopefully the insurance guy will work with you on that. But I don't know the answer to that part of it. but I could see the joint ownership thing working. And again, in a major metropolitan area, I don't know how practical it is to drive a Lambo every day or a Ferrari every day. So joint ownership makes some sense. It's just going to be sitting in a garage, sitting on the street, sitting in a driveway, sitting unused when you're not physically driving it. And, especially if you're in an area where maybe you do have to park it on the street. Maybe you don't have a private garage. If you have an apartment or something like that, real estate's very expensive. So you could have someone who's got a very good wage, but can't afford or just hasn't found the right home to buy. Or maybe they can only afford to buy a condo or an apartment. That doesn't mean they can't afford a car, right? So they can still go out and buy their fancy sports car, but they do it this way. They do joint ownership. And again, I was so skeptical. I thought that is the dumbest thing. Actually, I saw a TikTok about it. And it was some random guy who was basically saying, this is the future of owning supercars. You don't need to own the whole thing, and you don't need to own it all the time. But you do need to know and trust the people you're buying it with, because if you decide to sell it or trade it in or do whatever, those other guys either need to buy you out if they want to keep it, or you have to all be on the same page when it comes time to trade it in or sell it or whatever it is. So you really have to know, like, and trust these people, because you don't want to just go into it blindly. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys this week. Kind of a quick episode, but kind of an interesting topic. I'd love to know what you think. Do you think that you could ever do it that way? Or do you think it's absolutely just the craziest idea ever? Comment down below, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. But most importantly, remember, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.